Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Amigo's YouTube channel. This is Cheney180. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Storm Collectibles Morrigan from Darkstalkers. This has been a wait for this figure. Storm took their time getting this thing out, and I picked up mine on AliExpress. Side note, I've become an AliExpress junkie. I have to collect my coins every day, and it's a really fun app. It's very addictive. That's all I can say. But let's talk about the figure here. So here we have Morrigan from Darkstalkers. Been waiting for this for a very long time. And I've got a couple of nitpicks here and there, but let's go ahead and go over the figure here. So as you can see, we've got very nice paint applications on the figure here. Came out very nice. I like the gloss in the eyes there. You can see there's like a nice gloss to the eyes that reflects the light very well. And then the rest of it is like a nice matte. You've got the signature Storm Collectibles rubbery kind of overlay right here on the chest, and then here on the crotch piece, and then on the fur here that connects to her outfit as well. Oddly enough, the wings that connect to the head here are very like kind of brittle, hard plastic, so be careful with those. But yeah, I like the designs here on the costume. I like the matteness to it. I like that flat, like matte kind of look to it. Came together very nice. So that is cool. We've got a nice sculpt there along the hair. Nice sculpt on the face. One personal nitpick again, and I think the hips are a little bit too big for Morrigan. But that's just my personal opinion. But let's go ahead and check out the accessories. All right, so Morrigan comes packed out with quite a bit of stuff. You get 4 different face plates, 4 different pieces of hair. I really like the way they handled that. I'll go into that in a second. And you get these 2 spike pieces that connect, or dagger or blades. You get these 2 blade pieces that connect onto the bottom of the leg that make for her foot blades there. And we'll go ahead and swap those out in a second here. But I think I would have preferred like maybe the spikes that like come from her back that make the arrows. I think that would have been really neat. But these are still really nice. They're sculpted very nicely, nice and sharp, hard plastic. I love the matte on that. They came out very nice on there, and then into the silvery paint right there, which looks very good. And then the figure comes with 5 sets of hands. So you get these hands right here that are on the figure of the splayed out hands. You get a set of hands like this. Don't mind me dropping them. You get a set of hands like this. Once again, nice sculpt on the hands, and it's like a soft rubbery kind of plastic, so you don't have to worry about pegs like getting stuck or breaking or anything. You get 2 fist hands, which are nice. You get these 2 kind of gripping, angry looking hands here. Once again, nice rubbery, soft plastic like Storm always does. And then you get this stand here, and you also get this bat effect which plugs into the stand. Storm Collectibles, they do, you can change this piece out to make it higher or lower, however you like it. But it's a nice translucent to the bat going into, you got like this translucent yellow going into like a orange-ish red there, which came out very nice. And then last but not least, we've got all the different head sculpts. So we have the standard one here, as you can see. And then we have more of a kind of happy look there. And I have this hair on there. It's like hollowed out on the inside there. Soft plastic, looks good. The hair that's on it right now is like the flattest one that it comes with. And then we have a more angry kind of head here. But the one complaint that I do have is like you have this like faint little smile on this one and just kind of like a frown there, and then that really doughy kind of like blank face up there. And the hair on this one is kind of like windswept to the side. Different sculpt, hollowed out on the inside. And lastly, you have this one, which is just crazy compared to all of them. I would have liked maybe with the angry face having the yelling mouth. That would have been cool. But this is neat, you know. I do like this. It's game accurate for like when she gets hit or whatever. And then you get this hair right here, which is very, very similar to this hair, but without the windswept. And then all of them, the bangs are like a nice soft kind of rubbery plastic, but they're all painted very nicely. I would have hoped for a little bit more in expressions, like more diverse expressions, like this one. Like you have the three other ones just closed mouth, and then this one's yelling. It would have been cool to maybe have a yelling one for the angry face, but that is what it is. Let's go ahead and get into articulation. Oh, real quick before we get into articulation here, to put the blades on, you just kind of pull at the boot there, and there's a peg. You take the blade and snap it on there. And as you can see, there's some finagling that needs to be done there, but you get the gist of it. All right, let's go ahead and check out the articulation on Morrigan here. We'll start up here. There is a ball joint here at the top. This goes down into the top of the chest, and you get a fairly decent amount of motion there. I was moving around a little crazy earlier, and it kind of popped out, but I just popped it right back in, so it wasn't an issue. So you get some side to side there, back about that far, and forward that's about as far as you could push it, which isn't too bad. Now the arms here, we've got a hinge, and you also have some butterfly in there, as you can see, but you really got to kind of push it because of the rubbery overlay there. Not sure if you can see that there, but the arms go up about that far. I like that this is a nice soft plastic. It doesn't hinder anything, doesn't get in the way. She can get like her arms up if need be, and it just kind of flows with it. So I do like that. I do like that that works like that. You can get it back about and up about that far before it starts tugging on there. I wouldn't go wild with it because it might pop out, and getting it to sit back in there again and move could be potentially a nightmare. We've got a bicep swivel right here, which is covered perfectly by that. You've got double hinge elbow, which comes up almost all the way. You got a swivel and a hinge at the wrist here. Works wonderfully. You've got looks to be a ball joint. Okay, so you got a barbell joint from the top to the bottom here. And this is going to allow all kinds of motion, as you can see. This actually might work better that the hair is off. And then this goes down into like a crotch piece here, but let's go ahead and check out the wings. I actually really like the wings. So you've got hinge and swivels, 1, 2, 3 of them here. And it allows you to kind of move these wings around kind of however you want. Like it's not too much, and it's not, like it's not too much and it's not like lacking. So it's like right in the middle. It's perfect. You're able to do what you need to do. You can swivel something around and bring it forward a little bit more if need be. So that is cool. I haven't had any issues with the wings at all yet. So I do like the way that they did that. As I said, so we've got a barbell into here, and then this goes into the crotch joint here. And you're going to get about that much crunch with just that joint. You can add a little bit there, which brings it forward. And then back, you can pretty much crank it all the way back there, which is nice. You've got side to side with both of those, which is good. Now the hips here, you've got a thigh swivel in there. You can hear it squeaking away. I'll go ahead and put the hair back on. But you can hear that squeaking away there. Legs are going to come up about that far, but it just completely, bunches up this rubbery overlay here. So like realistically, without deforming her body, you're only going to get about maybe about that much, and even then it just doesn't look right. Like from this side it looks good, but from this side it looks kind of weird. And you can try, let's try and shift that around there. Yeah, realistically that's about as far as you're going to get. You can try and line that up there to get a little bit higher. Bring this forward a little bit, more back, if you will. As you can see, legs go out about, I want to say about this far, without completely, warping that piece. They go back, as far as you want to push it. If you want, it to look like that. That's a possibility. But it would be nice to get, some kind of sitting pose without it looking all weird like that, if you know what I mean. We've got double hinge knee, which comes up about all the way. There's no boot cut there because of that piece, but you do have a swivel and a hinge here at the ankle, which isn't bad. And then you have a toe joint here. So all in all, it moves fairly well. As I've said before, I'm not the biggest fan of the rubbery overlays. They look good in a vanilla pose, but sometimes when you're trying to get an action pose, they can kind of warp up, and it's kind of frustrating for me. But anyway, let's go ahead and move to some comparisons. Here she is next to Dimitri from Storm Collectibles as well, the only other Darkstalkers figure that we have from Storm currently. Here she is next to Street Fighter V, Chun-Li, and Battle Costume Cammy from Storm Collectibles as well. Here she is next to Blue Mary from Storm Collectibles as well. And lastly, for those that are curious, this is how she scales next to a Jada Toys Chun-Li. All right, final thoughts for Storm Collectibles Morrigan from Darkstalkers. I'm kind of right in the middle. I don't hate this thing, but I don't love it at the same time. Is it growing on me a little? Yes, it is. Is there things that, that I have nitpicks about? Yes, 100%. But it does come packed with a lot of stuff. You get 5 different sets of hands. You get 4 different head sculpts and 4 different interchangeable hair pieces. You have all these, you have 4 different sets of hair that came out great, but then you kind of have these, doughy face sculpts that I wish we would have gotten a little bit more expression out of. You get the 2 blades here for the feet, which they function nicely. As I said, I think I would have preferred the arrow, poking blades or whatnot, but this still works. The back came out great. The stands are, as normal. Yeah, I don't hate this. I'm not. It's kind of across the board here for Storm Collectibles. The overlays, they just tend to bunch up. Maybe if it was a thicker kind of overlay there around the crotch, you could kind of push it to the limit a little bit, and it wouldn't like, I don't know, like deform itself when you're trying to move it. Because the way that this came out here for the shoulders, like the fur that goes along the arms there, that came out great. I really love the way that the wings came out. I am a little bit weary about the wings that are on top of the head here. They're like a hard plastic, and I don't want this thing to fall over and potentially those break off one day. So I am weary about that. Overall, though, like it's sculpted beautifully. It's painted beautifully. Overall, it functions as well as it can. Minus the overlay pieces, as I said before. Those I do have a nitpick with those. If you want this to fit in like a Marvel versus Capcom display, she is going to tower because she is in that Storm Collectibles scale. So that is unfortunate. Hopefully one day we get a 1/12 scale Morrigan. That would be awesome. But overall, like I said, I don't hate this thing. I actually do like a lot of things about this figure. I've got some nitpicks here and there, but I don't love it either. So I'm right in the middle on it. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up. Share with your friends. Check out the podcast, Chat Migos Assemble on Tuesdays. They're Not Dolls on Thursdays. Take it easy, guys.